Great win for us, thoroughly deserved. I thought we were dominant really from the first minute. Came flying out the traps really quickly. Probably should have had a couple early in the game. And then you know, before I sort of knew it, the game was 3-1. It was, you know, 4 goals in quick succession. Obviously disappointed to concede from a set piece. Wasn't sure there was really a foul in the build up to the actual free kick, and then it leads to a corner and they get one. But inevitably, we put demands on a few of the players in the weeks leading up to it about our centre forwards operating inside the width of the goal, about getting our wing backs on the day. We played with wing backs as opposed to full backs, getting themselves 1v1s, trapping the far post, and it was brilliant to see sort of Rory Mills so actively involved in a load of the attacks. I thought Danny Webb was excellent getting down the sides of Leverstock. And like I said, you know, we were utterly ruthless just prior to half time. That sort of found ourselves in a 3-1 lead, and half time 2-goal leads are always dangerous in football, very dangerous. Leverstock obviously extremely direct. They try to put balls down your throat. They've got some big units in the team, and I thought we nullified that brilliantly. I thought from start to finish, I thought we won our first contacts, picked up second balls. I thought that, you know, the detail around our play was excellent, and I was really pleased with the win. You know, 4-1. I think we picked their pocket from a high press, sort of just on the hour mark, and it's a wonderful bit of composure from Rory just to slide in Danny Webb, and Webby got a deserved goal, who I thought was excellent throughout the game. So it was a really pleasing result. They were on good form, and it was good for us to, as I said, get back to home. You know, they're 6th place in the league, and we did exceptionally well to get the 3 points. And you know, as I said, it wasn't just the points; it was the manner of the victory. And I thought, as I said, we were thoroughly dominant from start to finish, and very worthy winners. Always disappointed to lose any game of football, but as I said in my post-match interview, I said I was very philosophical about the defeat. Ultimately, as I think I've said from the very first round, you know, it's an additional cup competition we didn't really want to be in, but I'm not going to take, you know, anything away from LEIGHTON Town. I thought when you look at the second goal that Leon Lobjoit scores, that deserves to win any game of football, to be fair to him. Obviously we came up the traps really quickly. After sort of 30 seconds, I think we've had one. Webby's done really well around the goalkeeper, and fair credit to their lad, he's done well to get himself back and clear it off the line. And then within a minute and a half, I think then it's 1-0. It's a corner that comes in, and I think, to be fair, the quality of the delivery's caught everybody out, and it's an unfortunate own goal on the line. And then I thought it was a really scrappy game. But like I said, a wonderful header, to be fair, from their centre forward into the top corner that I defy most goalkeepers to save. And to be fair to them, we had loads and loads of the ball during periods of the second half, especially when they went down to 10 men, but didn't really do enough with it. A lot of our deliveries weren't quite good enough, even though we had multiple 2v1s in wide areas at times. I didn't think we did enough to really test their goalkeeper, but it was exactly the sort of game I was expecting. Scrappy, it was a bit like it was here. It was ferocious, 2 even teams, you know, both battling away, and I've got a feeling that will be what it's going to be like on March the 14th. But what I certainly won't do is stand in front of a camera. As I said, it's got under my skin a little bit this year at times that we've never really got the credit that we deserve when we beat teams. I mean, there's some absolute top-rate individuals in the Spartan that I'm getting used to that have always got loads of excuses when Dunstable Town beat them. It's they didn't have these players, they didn't have that person, that didn't happen, the wind was too heavy, the grass was too green, the stadium was too loud, all the various nonsense that I've heard this year, rather than just turning around and saying, well, actually my side were better than their side on the day. So I'm not going to be one of those managers to stand in front of it. Overall, did LEIGHTON deserve to win the game? Yeah, I think they did, to be fair to them. I think they were utterly professional in what they did. And we know we've got to be better in 3 weeks' time. Not a fault, not through a lack of effort, not through a lack of desire. The lads worked incredibly hard. I was ever so proud of the effort levels. Be delighted, obviously, in a few weeks' time that we'll have a few back. And I'm sure they will as well. And I don't expect it to be a pretty game of football on the 14th of March, but ultimately we'll be judged on the 3 points. And as I said loads and loads of times, congratulations to LEIGHTON for going through. It's a game of football we've lost. It's not going to overly affect our planning for Saturday. The most important thing is we get back to winning ways this Saturday. So we've got to assess Kelvin tonight. He's exceptionally tight with his hamstrings and a bit of a hernia that's been going on. So we've got to be careful with him. what we can't afford to do really is take risks with him, because inevitably, you know, if we get a risk and it breaks down, you know, he's an important player for us. Sadly, it looks like we've lost Liam McCrone for the season. His groin's just not getting better, and he's had a bit of a relapse, so that's a real blow for us, because Liam, as I said, he's a big player for us, but ultimately, you know, that's unfortunately just the way that football goes sometimes. So we obviously wish him well. He'll still be actively involved with us, and hopefully, you know, this time next season will be, you know, a step higher for him. And like I said, it matches everybody's ambitions. Carl Faulkner's back training tonight, so we'll see how he goes. I think Saturday may come a little bit too soon for him, because ultimately what we don't want to do is have him break down again. In terms of squad depth, as you see, Dennis Vicho made his debut on Tuesday, and rightfully so. He's been with us all season. He's done exceptionally well with the 18s, deserved his opportunity. Have to give Sean Daly full credit for the job he's done with the 18s and the continuous, you know, conveyor belt of players that he brings in. We've got few more really that are now knocking on first team doors, you know, Caleb Capone being one of them. We've got Nathaniel Coote, Alex Pointer, Charles Lawal. So, you know, it's a really exciting time for the youth of Dunstable, and I'm glad to start integrating those to the first team. And with a lot of clubs, a lot of it they'll put young kids in as a gimmick. There's no gimmick here, you know, everybody has to earn their minutes. Dennis Vicho wouldn't get onto the pitch ahead of other players if I didn't feel it was the right thing for the team. So yeah, we're looking forward to his development. We've obviously got a big part to play in his development moving forwards. But ultimately, squad-wise, we are a little bit stretched, but as I've said 1,000 times, one man's disappointment is another man's opportunity. So, as I said, looking forward to getting the lads back in tonight, seeing where we all are, and then get ready for Saturday. So, rearranged fixture. Obviously, from our perspective, we played them twice this year. So we were beaten in the FA Cup quite comprehensively in the end by them, and then hammered them in the league game out here, you know, I think about 6 weeks later, where we were very good on the night. So we know what we're expecting from them. They've come off the back of 2 disappointing results, I'm sure, from their end. And that can always sometimes not work in your favour. You know, some managers like to think that if a team's not on form, it's a good time to play them. I'm always the opposite. I always expect a backlash. Don't know whether that's the pessimist in me or whatever, but we know it's going to be a tough game. They've got good players. They showed us in the first game they've got good structure, good organisation. They're not an easy team to break down. But as I said, we've made huge progress since we played them in the FA Cup, and it's a tough one on Saturday. It's a tough run of games coming up, but I keep saying to everybody, this is a tough league this year. There's no gimmies. Everyone's on a decent run at times. Everyone picks up points. We've just got to keep doing what we do and win. And as I keep saying, the disappointment of the defeat on Tuesday doesn't really matter to me. It's what we do now on Saturday. We're on a great little run in the league. Without tempting fate, you know, I think the last time we conceded a goal in the second half of a game was against Potton when we went down to 10 men in November the 26th. So we're showing excellent concentration levels, excellent fitness levels. A lot of things I've seen in this group over the last 2 months I've been delighted with. We're keeping it to 0s and 1s. And hopefully we can do that again on Saturday and emerge with the 3 points at what's going to be a very difficult place to go. So back on home turf, that's what we can ever ask for really. To be fair to the ground staff, they've done a great job with the pitch, because at one stage it looked well and sort of truly dead. They've pulled it right round, and the pitch has been very good in the last couple of games, and I think that will suit both teams. If you look at AYLESBURY VALE, they've been on a cracking run of form. I know they had a disappointing result on Tuesday, losing at home to Risborough, but Risborough are a good side, and as I said, they're on a good run of form themselves, Risborough. So what's important for us on Tuesday is that whilst AYLESBURY are on a good side, we're the home side. We've got to make sure that we turn up, and I keep saying every single week, if we turn up and deliver our levels, the capabilities that we have, I'd back us against anybody in the league, and that doesn't change. My opinion on that doesn't change. But hopefully we'll have a few back by then on Tuesday. We'll have a good crowd here on Tuesday night in what's going to be, as I said, it's going to be another tough run of games. It's a really tough period that we're about to go through, and we're 8 weeks now to the end of the season. There's I think 15 league games, 14 league games to go still. So there's a lot of football still to be played, and what I really want to make sure is that we're up there and about in the top 3 going into the last month. What I don't want to do now is hit a bad run of form over the next 5 or 6 weeks and we fall well out of it, and then we end up petering out into 5th or 6th. So the challenge is on. I don't hide from the challenge. I'm not going to stand in front of people and turn around and say, well, 5th or 6th is a good return for us. No, it's not. We've got ourselves into a decent position in the league. Not perfect, but we've given ourselves a chance, and we give ourselves a chance to keep on going. But the only way that run keeps going is if we keep winning games. As I said, 2 or 3 bad weeks here now at this time. If we have 2 or 3 weeks like we did in November, it's season over. So whilst we don't get too carried away when we win a game, if there is a bump in the road, which there will be, we're going to have the odd bad result, then it's certainly not a time to get too down. The lads, I've been immensely proud of them. They've worked so hard. We've got a really, really good togetherness about the group at the moment. Everyone's working incredibly hard for one another. And as long as we keep that going, you know, we've got to fancy ourselves to being around the mix. But there's some good sides up there. So I'm expecting a topsy-turvy end to the season, and one which we're very much looking forward to.